Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Krang. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in the following category: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once those scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So a huge shout out to Victor, who's been my go-to guy for these turtle figures, as I can't find them in the store. So this is absolutely one that I had to have in my collection, even if I had to pay double the price to get it. So I'm happy that I didn't. Let's open this up and get the review started. So for accessories, man, this Krang really comes jam-packed. I really don't know where to start here. I'm just going to reach and grab something. So here you have some schematics. I think this is always cool to have. Not sure exactly how I will use that. And this, I thought this was some terry cloth rag or something. But now I remember that this is actually from an episode. It's a bath towel that Krang wore. And I can't believe that Neca actually included this. Then we get some weapons. Part of this here is die cast. You know, I always like die cast when it comes to weapon. And these are pretty pointy, but I really like the heft of both of these. So happy to have this. And just continuing with the weapons, you also get an axe for Krang to switch out one of his hands with. And you get a few other pieces. You get this, should we call it some sort of saw, electric saw. We receive this weapon. I think it's a blaster. I really don't remember exactly what this is. You actually receive two of them. And then in addition, let's go up this way. You have 3 pair of hands in total. Hands are done well enough. You have this item, which I don't know what this is. I don't remember this at all. Maybe before this video is over, I'll do some research and figure out what this is. Then you have this, which I vaguely remember. May do some research as well. Then we have a Krang to go inside the android body. I think this is different from the one that comes with Shredder. And one of my favorite accessories here, you receive this baby Shredder, and it's actually articulated. The arms move, you get some head movement, and you get some movement in the torso. So this is super dope in itself. So for overall accessories, what more can you... Oh, almost forgot something. You also receive 2 antennas to attach to the top of Krang head. So as I was saying, for accessories, what more can you want? I'm going to give Krang a 10 out of 10. So for articulation, the head only moves up that much. Moves all the way down. It does rotate. Get a good amount of pivot. No movement back and forth. For the shoulder, I'm pretty sure it's going to be... Yep, so the shoulder only goes up about this much. This shoulder pad, even though it's pretty soft, it does restrict the shoulder from moving up. Not sure if this can go all the way around. It does. So no upper bicep cut. You do have movement right around the elbow. And the next point of rotation will be at the wrist, which goes side to side. Or up and down, excuse me. So now with the torso is a single piece. So you do get rotation right at the waist. Absolutely no pivot, no crunch, forward or backwards. So the legs extend out about that much. Kick forward, if you rotate them, about that much forward. They come back about that much. But I didn't mention you do have rotation. Next point of rotation is all the way at the foot. And speaking of feet, this happened to mine. So I want to be very careful with this. It does go up that much. It comes down that much. And you do have some pivot in and out. Pretty sure it can go a little bit more, but that's all I'm going to push it. So with the foot, it's able, with the leg, it's able to bend up that much. Okay, so for articulation. I'm going to give the Krang a 4 out of 10. So for design, let me flip the camera up just a little bit. Neca knocked this thing out of the park. From the head work to the lines. Even if you look inside here, that's well painted. There's actually scope work on the inner. Turning to the back, they didn't take any shortcuts. This thing looks like it popped right out of the cartoon. I mean, there's nothing more that I can ask from this figure here. I will install the antenna at some point, so don't worry. Now, I do have a little bit of paint rub in some areas. can see some red here from when I was moving it, so you have to be careful with that. But this thing is fantastic. So for overall design, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. So as far as being essential to your collection, where do we put Krang? Of course, he is somewhere at the top. There's no question that the Shredder would be a 10. Is the Krang right up there with Shredder? I kind of feel that he is. Like nearly in every single episode, the Shredder and Krang sort of went hand to hand. So I'm just struggling between if it's a 9 or if it's a 10. I can simply go any way. So I'll say as far as being essential to your collection, I'm going to give this guy a 10 out of 10. So for functionality, we're going to start with the issue. I attempted to move the leg up. It was completely stuck and it popped off. I am not happy about this, but the figure is so hard to find. What am I really going to do? I'm just going to have to glue this and just lose out on moving the foot itself. So I will absolutely be deducting points as far as functionality. This happening to your action figure, this is not supposed to happen. So I can't just put him down. I have to hold him for this entire review, which may take a little bit longer for me to do something. So I'm thinking instead of swapping things out on camera, I'll probably do it off of camera. And we're going to start with his antenna. So for the antenna, it's easy enough to plug in. We're going to do this on camera. You come with 2 in the event if one breaks, which I like. And you simply just plug it on his head like so. And now he looks complete. So I like the fact that the shoulder piece is soft. I do not like the fact, that the arm is unable to push up more than this. Now, with this Android body, this is not something that you need in many poses. So this right here is enough for me anyway. And here too, with just the single jointed elbow bending less than 90, I'm also okay with that, given that this is a rather clunky design for an Android body. So now, one of the things that I absolutely like, if you look inside this Krang compartment here, these controls are functional. They actually move. Like when it comes to these figures, Neca takes no shortcuts. And to think that we actually get these figures for the price that we do sometimes just blows my mind. I also like that this Krang here, this part is hollow. The arms are also functional. But back to the hollow point, it's so that it can fit over this piece here. And I'm definitely going to have to do this off camera. Okay, so after struggling for a while, you can see I separated Krang because I'm like, okay, this doesn't work. He does not fit. So here's what you have to do. You have to pull the upper portion, which will then allow you to place the Krang in. And as I was speaking about before, he has that hollow point to where he can sort of peg onto this. This way he doesn't just easily fall out. And then you can sort of place the controls around if you choose to. And I just want to do so for the sake of the video. May have to do so off camera. Okay, so that definitely took some maneuvering, but as you can see, both hands, tentacles maybe, both tentacles are holding it. And now I finally have him plugged. He's secure. And there you go. And man, does this, well, wait before I say that. And also I like the functionality aspect of this, that the body sort of snaps apart, being that the Krang is too large to just slide through the window. Okay, now I can say it. This just brings back so many memories, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, so for the hands, you hold, pull out, and Neca has the pegs on the hands as it always should be. So instead of just swapping out the hand, I guess I'll start with the weapons, which has a plug here that you just put in like so. And you also have this. Moving next to this. And this, which I absolutely love. In the cartoon, I remember him having both hands this way. So this is very heavy, as I mentioned before, probably one of my favorite accessories. And I think that's it for accessories. We do have some doubles. I won't bother to use the doubles. If you're curious about the hands, let me just grab a different hand. The hands plug in place very easy. So now with that hand in, let's see if he can hold the schematics. I know it's in the plastic still. I just don't want to take it out. Not really a good grip here. If you hold the hand upwards, you can get them to something like that. And then just looking at the additional hands, yeah, that's the same, but this side. Yeah, he's just not going to hold this particularly well. So the hands that we get don't hold the schematics particularly well. So one of the accessories that I'm just dying to throw on is this towel. Okay, so I assume that this towel would have some Velcro, excuse me, but it does not. So you sort of have to use this like a real towel. Just pull it around and find an area to where you can tuck in. So it works. I would still prefer a sticky fabric or something Velcro. And seeing him like this, I now recall what this is for. This is actually soap on a rope from that same episode, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this was his shower cap. That's absolutely what it was. And you can plug in the antenna on top if you choose to. So, man, this is something just real cool to have. Something that they didn't have to throw in, but they did. So for functionality, let's talk about a few things. I love how the accessories are very interchangeable and very easy to do so. So that is an absolute plus. I love the fact that the pegs are attached to the hand. Companies, this is what you need to do. It should not be pegs in hands that do not have them. I love that the inside where the actual Krang sits, that these two pieces here, these controllers are maneuverable. It's something so simple, but it just makes the figure feel so much more. It's just a great added detail. I like the fact that they thought about this figure may move in the inside and then just hollowed him out and put a simple plug and play to where you can just prop him in there. So I really like that. The shortcomings of functionality is just the limitation in the body itself. Really no movement in the torso. And of course, this. So for functionality, this score is maybe a bit unfair, but I'm deducting 5 points for this because my figure cannot stand. It cannot stand with 1 foot. So for overall functionality, I'm giving Krang a 3 out of 10. So for pricing, I think this figure came in at $35. I could be wrong. It could be $30. I am not sure. So I'm just going to go with that $35 price point. You add in taxes, let's just say 38 bucks. Shipping, I paid some extra for shipping. I paid about $15 to have this shipped to me. So in total, let's just say $50 for this figure. So now is this figure worth the price of admission? So let's see what he comes with. As far as accessories, I don't think that you can ask for more. Neca made sure to dump loads of accessories into this figure, things that I think even the die-hard Turtle fan wouldn't expect to get. So the fact that Neca did that, I am so excited, and I know a lot of collectors are excited. The lows with this figure for me is, of course, this. There's a lack of articulation, but who cares? Like, I don't really remember Krang being that mobile. There may have been a few episodes, but other than this, it was just this pudgy, weird-looking android body. And Neca absolutely captured that. So for pricing, I'm going to give this thing a 10 out of 10. That will give the Krang an overall cliff score of 47 out of 60. So now, if is this a pass or a purchase? You should already know that this is a purchase. If you're a Turtle fan, this is a must-have. I'm so excited about this thing that I'm not even upset that this happened. I'm not happy, but I am not upset. The only thing that I'm worried about is getting another one, as this was hard to come by. So if I'm able to score another one, what I'll do with this one, I'll probably separate the pieces. And at some point, whenever I create a turtle dio, I'll just use the arms, the head, the torso, the body as a separate android body just for spare parts. So being that I have to hold him up, I'm not going to do too many comparisons. But here is Metalhead from the same line. Let's just move. Here is Super Shredder from the movie line. All right, and for our last comparison, we'll do Shao Kahn from Storm Collectibles. So thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I hope to see you during the next review.